society is dedicated to helping our youth get to know and learn about economic wealth, but also to be able to pave the way for the next generation.
In our Black and brown communities, there is a lack of wealth. The question remains, how can we close the wealth gap for our community?
I would say definitely with entrepreneurship and also implementing financial literacy programs.
We need to start with educational attainment.
Financial literacy programs that help them learn how to save and build their credit and even investing.
I feel like systemic pressures have been put on us as far as telling us what we can do or what we can't do.
But with financial literacy, you have to have like finances to manage. So entrepreneurship to build cash flow.
Creating a wall and a boundary to where we can reach the goals that we want to reach, and that is lack of education. So I'm saying more classes as far as in personal finance or business.
What it means is to break generational curses.
It's people that are 25, 30 years old, millennial people, that don't know how to financially take care of themselves. They don't know how to tax.
For us to do that, we have to acknowledge the fact that the system is designed to hold us back. Once we acknowledge that and we find better skills to uplift ourselves and uplift the generational wealth, then we can get generational wealth.
So I feel like helping them with their finances, teaching them things about, okay, what's the debt, what's the credit, can I balance my books? They might even end up starting businesses, but you can't do that if you aren't offered those same opportunities. So programs and funding put toward those types of things will eventually help them and help us close that wealth gap.
Economic and financial literacy is important in the Black community because not only does it create generational wealth, but educate one on the knowledge to prosper to it, emphasizing on home ownership, credit, and investments.
For me, generational wealth means acquiring habits and skills and disciplines that allow you to store wealth for you and generations after you so they don't have to worry about being not financially stable.
Having financial literacy in the Black community is extremely important because Black people were brought here 400 years ago, Black Americans, and we were told that we were not going to be successful. After slavery ended, all we were given was 40 acres and a mule. We had no type of land ownership, none of that. There are also still lands out there that were owned by Black people and also stolen. So having that awareness and that exposure of your history too, and that there's a lot of rich families out there that they may not know about.
Building generational wealth means investing now in delayed gratification so that we can set up our future family and our future generations to be better off financially.
Financial literacy is important to the African American community because we can use that to build generational wealth, and also we can use that to invest in education for more Black students.
I believe being financially literate is extremely important in the African American community. It's important that we turn around and we help those who don't understand as much about finances, things like investing, home ownership, and credit.
I think that economic and financial literacy is important because a lot of the Black community lacks generational wealth, and I believe that if more people were educated on these things, then that will help bridge the gap and that will help people build generational wealth.
Being financially and economically literate in the Black community is important because if we were more financially literate, we could build more wealth and have more economic prosperity as a community.
Being financially free to me means having no financial burdens. As a child of an immigrant and as a first-generation college student, there are certain leisure that I'm not able to, enjoy because of the financial burden of having to, take care of myself, but also make sure that everything's okay back home. So being financially free would just be able to, spend without having to worry about how it's going to affect me later, what am I going to do with this money, or, just having to budget when I shouldn't be having to budget.
Now it's time to take advantage of the opportunity to invest in Black prosperity.